I just have a question about your high probability fair value gaps that you introduced roughly 2 weeks ago, the ones forming on the quadrant wicks of the daily candle. And my question around that is, it, you mentioned if there's multiple wicks, we use the largest wick. But what if we have larger wicks, let's say 25 days ago or 50 days ago? Like in today's trading, I was pulling wicks from September 17th, if I have that correct, and I was framing trades against that. What's the filter I can use there to correctly select the right wick to find those fair value gaps that land on those right quadrants on those daily wicks?
As soon as you leave the 20-day look back, your probabilities fall off precipitously down to the 60-day look back. The purest, the most cleanest ones are going to be in the last 20 days, 20 trading sessions. So right away, there's the short answer you're looking for.
Okay.
The further you look back, you're going to have more things that are supporting it, more factual support behind the idea. It can't be just, well, that was a good displacement there. It happened to form on a macro time. It happened to be on a quadrant level of the new week opening gap. All those things may not be enough. Whereas if you just have an opening range or new week opening gap or new day opening gap quadrant, and it's during a macro and a fair value gap forms and it's meeting your daily bias, that's an easy entry. You know what it's going to do. You know how it's going to function. It's going to give you something that's tradable. You don't have that, or at least you'll find if you start spending a lot of time doing it, you won't have that level of sensitivity and, I guess, conviction behind the moves. As soon as you pass and breach that 20-day look back, 40 days is still good, but 60-day, you're gonna have to demand a whole lot of stuff behind it.
All right, okay. And I can still use those quadrants on RTH gaps, correct? It opens up, I drop the quadrants, and if a gap forms on that quadrant, would you consider that as a high probability fair value gap as well, or just on the daily wicks?
So, a little bit slower and say it again, please.
Sure. So let's say today we opened up with 200 RTH gap, and usually you drop quadrants on it. Fair value gaps that get created on those quadrants from the regular trading hours gap, would those be considered high probability as well, or just using the daily wicks as high probability fair value gaps to trade off of?
Well, obviously, the first presented fair value gap is the highest probability. The one that forms in the first 30 minutes, midnight to 12:30, high probability. 1:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, that opening range for 2 o'clock's European session, that's high probability. 2:30 to 3 o'clock Eastern time for London Open, the first presented fair value gap in that run, that's high probability to 5 o'clock in the morning. It carries over into the New York Open, 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. It's useful there. This is also Forex related to. It's not just limited to the index futures. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Okay. First presentation. Kid, I was trying to find a way to get in here with you because I listened to you and you're like you're dabbling in with the first presented fair value gap. I was going to try to talk to you a little bit about what took place today, but if you look at what we presented today and extend it through the day, you can see how wonderful it was. It was using its quadrants. It was using its consequent encroachment. It was using its low. Then it used its high in the afternoon. Like it is like that, for folks that talk about statistics and things like that, like when you take just today's first presented fair value gap, it was a suspension block on top of it. So taking that information and then utilizing it and seeing how it used the 8 o'clock hour, okay, and the 10 o'clock hour, and then the afternoon going into the PM session, and then how it drew back down into another first visit to fair value gap that I'll teach you when I come back in February. But these components, they're always there in price action. They don't hide from you. And if you're looking for the purest, easiest, run out there and find something to do, it's going to be found in the first 30 minutes of trading, because that's the real opening range. And when you see this first imbalance that's showing you displacement, not just some little Mickey Mouse little gap, okay? They're useful, but I treat them like a volume imbalance by comparison. So what I want to see a nice directional move away from the previous candle, and then that imbalance stays there. And once it's printed, then I know that's the first time it happened for today's session. All the algorithms are going to see that same thing. They're all going to chime in on it. High frequency entries are going to come in there, pepper it all up. So I know I'm going to have liquidity. I know I'm going to have engagement there. Not because of the buying, selling pressure, moving price. I got liquidity. They're going to tag that level. I don't have confidence that every high frequency trading algorithm is directionally sound. They're in there for volatility. They're trying to get this static fluctuation that's always in the marketplace. Because I'm directionally rooted as a trader, I know where I want to trade and where it wants to reach for. I'm looking at why the market should go higher, why it should go lower. And if I don't know that, and if I don't have strong conviction behind it, then I'm sitting in my hands waiting for more information or waiting for another session. Having the first presentation affords me the luxury of saying, okay, I know what I'm looking for. I know when it's going to form. It's going to be in the next 30 minutes. And I know that these levels carry throughout the day and up to 5 days with high degrees of probability. So you opened up your question with, looking for high probability fair value gaps. If you look at the ones that form, as I'm talking about here and in other lectures where I've talked about the whole concept of persistent fair value gaps, if you project them in the future, you're going to see all of these setups that form are using them. They're using the consequent encroachment, the upper and lower quadrant, the highs and lows of them, and then incorporating the ideas of when we're bullish, we want to see them support the idea of staying in the upper half and not having any interest going in the lower half. So what is that promoting? It's promoting discount sensitivity. It's not allowing price to print the body down in the lower half. So those are all hallmark characteristics of a high probability fair value gap. And it's anchored and rooted to the first presentation based on the time aspect first.